In this recording, we are going to talk about number 4. It reads, if the second and 10th terms of an AP stands for arithmetic progression, are negative 13 and positive 43 respectively, then which term of this AP is 78? So this is an arithmetic progression question, and we're trying to find a particular, we are not trying to find a particular term, we're trying to find which term, the nth term, which n will give us 78. So now in the solution, it says that two pieces of information are provided, therefore two equations must be made so that two unknowns can be formed. All right? The two information that is provided is the second and the negative 13, and the 10th and the 43. Now we continue to say that since this is an AP and the information provided is about the nth term, we must use the nth term formula for an AP. So it continues by saying that the formula for the nth term of an arithmetic progression, abbreviation AP, is A sub n, which is equal to A plus n minus 1 times D, where A sub n is the nth term, A is the first term, A by itself is the first term, n is the term number, and D is the common difference. So to use this formula, you need to know the first term of the sequence and the constant difference between the consecutive terms, which of course these are the two unknowns that are there in this question in the first place. We don't know what is A, we don't know the first term, and we don't know the common difference. So we have to solve for both the first term and the common difference, which is, of course, these are two variables. So that's why two information is provided. Two pieces of information are provided. And then we can solve for n in order to use this formula. So we have to use this formula 3 times. One for the second and the negative 13, one for the 10 and the 43, and one to solve for n. So here we continue with the formula breakdown. A sub n is the value of the nth term in the sequence. A by itself is the first term of the AP. N is the position of the term you want to find in the sequence, and that is what we want to eventually find. We want to find the position that 78 occupies. Okay, but we need A and D. D is the common difference, which is a constant value you add to get from one term to the next. So here we have written the formula A sub n is equal to A plus n minus 1 in the bracket times D. So the first piece of information is the second term of an AP is negative 30. So we must translate this statement to symbolic form. So n here is equal to 2, the second. Okay. A sub 2 is equal to negative 30. So therefore, A, we don't know what is A by itself, plus 2 minus 1 times D, we do not know what is D, is equal to negative 30. And then when we simplify, because we multiply by D, D times 2 is 2D, D times minus 1 is minus D, 2D minus D will equal D. So A plus D is equal to negative 30. Okay. This step, someone might say, well, what about this step? This step was skipped. But basically, you're going to clear the brackets. So you're going to multiply by D. So you're going to get 2D. And D times minus 1 is minus D is equal to negative 14. 2D minus D will give us 2, will give us D. Or you can even put your 1D. 2D minus 1D. So that's our first equation. Next, we are going to use the second piece of information. The 10th term of an AP is 43. So n is 10 here, A sub 10 is 43. So we have A plus 10 minus 1 times D is equal to 43. Again, we multiply by D, clear the brackets. So we're going to get B by 10, will give us 10D. d times, just a minute, inside. So we have a plus d times 10 is 10d. D 10 minus 1 is minus 1d. And 10 minus 1 is equals to 9, will give us 90. So we have a second equation. So now we have two equations and two unknowns. We can apply simultaneous equation and it repeats. We must solve for both a and d using simultaneous linear equations. We can apply the elimination method because the coefficient of a is 1. So because a has the same coefficient, which is 1, we can subtract the two equations and this will cancel out a minus a is 0. Okay, 9 minus 1 will give us 8, and 43 minus a minus 14 will give us 56. Okay, so it says we can subtract the equation by the one below, subtract the top by the one below, and here it is. A minus a is 0, so we don't even write it. 9 minus 1 will give us 8d, and 43 minus a negative 13, that's 43 plus 14 will give us 56. So now we can solve for d by divided by 8, and then we get 56 is equal to 56 divided by 8 will give us 7. So the common difference is 7. So now we have solved for the common difference. Okay, we can now substitute this equal to 7 into any one of the equations to find a. Okay, so let's choose this one then. A plus 9d is equal to 43. We know d is 7, so we will substitute 7 in the place of d. So we have a plus 9 times 7 is equal to 43. 9 times 7 is 63, so a plus 63 is equal to 43. Then we simply subtract by 63 on both sides. And we have a is equal to 43 minus 63, so a is equal to negative 2. So since we have both a and d, we can complete the formula for the AP, for a particular AP. So to find the nth term, right? So therefore the nth term formula can now be written as a sub n is equal to minus 20 plus n minus 1 times 7. Okay. Bear in mind how the formula of the AP was by 7. Without the knowledge of A and D, this is how the formula looks. A sub n is equal to A plus n minus 1d. Here, we know the value of A is negative 20, and we know the value of D is 7. So we have a specific AP right now. Okay, a customized particular AP, all right, which is A sub n is equal to minus 20 plus n minus 1 times 7. So now we can use this equation now to solve for n, okay, because we know what is A sub n. A sub n is 78, okay, and it says that right here. Now, which term of this AP is 78? Okay, which position does 78 occupy? What is the n for 78? Okay, so it means that we must substitute 78 into the place of A sub n, then solve for n, and that's what has been done right here. 78 is equal to minus 20 plus n minus 1 times 7. 78 plus 20, because we added 20 on both sides to cancel out 20 from the right side. We have 78 plus 20 is equal to n minus 1 times 7. 78 plus 20 is 98 is equal to n minus 1 times 7. And we divide by 7 to cancel out 7 because 7 is being multiplied to n minus 1 in the bracket. So 90 divided by 7 will give us 14. And we are left with 14 is equal to n minus 1. So we simply add 1 on both sides to cancel out negative 1 from the right side. So on the left side, we have 14 plus 1 is equal to n. So n is equal to 15. So it's just a matter of going over this with your pen, your paper, your practice book, and your calculator, and to go over it again.